Three, two, one. Launch to success with Vera V.
Hey, welcome to my podcast, Launch Success. It's me, Vera V, and I have an absolute treat of a podcast episode for you. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm a full-time content creator. I'm also a social media coach, as well as an absolute self-growth and wellness lover. My podcast is all about helping you reach your fullest potential in your life and in your career. And in this episode, tea will be spilled because I'm joined by my amazing clients, aka my social media mentorship group. We're just about to finish, so it's time for those results, the totals, and time to spill some tea. We'll talk about what it's like starting out as a content creator realistically, how to deal with hate comments, and also we'll figure out if influencers are actually out of touch. Now, before we go, a little context. How the mentorship works is over the course of 12 weeks, me and my clients met up one-on-one. We had one-on-one session weekly. We also had a group session weekly with weekly challenges, weekly steps for them to complete in order to reach their full social media potential, which I really feel like they have. Now, let's dive straight into this episode. Hi, guys. Welcome to the podcast. First things first, let's start off by introducing yourselves.
My name is Alexandra. I'm a relationship coach and very happy to be here.
My name's Ian. I'm a real estate agent in Orange County.
My name is Taya at Taya Blasso on Instagram, TikTok, and all platforms. I'm a fashion, beauty, and lifestyle content creator.
I'm Eduardo Neves, and I'm a clothing brand owner.
Thank you for introducing yourselves. First and foremost, what's your creator journey been like? Because in joining the mentorship, I know we all started at different levels, which I think is very cool. Some of us had a lot more experience than others. So, you guys okay?
Ian smacked me in the head.
So just talk about where you started originally with your content creation, and then what made you join the mentorship and what goal you had when joining.
Well, I would say I started from zero. I had no idea about social media. I kind of didn't even like social media, to be honest. And then I knew that I had seen other agents be super successful with it, get a lot of clients from social media. So I knew it was something I had to pursue and just get comfortable with. I would say my journey started by posting stuff that didn't include my face or myself, and then slowly branched out into being very comfortable with just talking about anything on camera. And yeah, now I really actually enjoy it.
Well, I've done social media stuff before. I've had some videos that did really well, but I never had a specific goal or a concept of what I was doing on social media. And I think the mentorship really helped me develop that goal and know which direction I want to move in. So I still had some videos that did really well, better than the ones in the past, because I think that I've developed new skills and new strategies and definitely went out of my comfort zone with a lot of things and just branched out. And now I'm more comfortable doing a variety of content, and I know how to create content specific for my audience.
And a cool thing to know about Alexandra is she's our viral queen of the group. Every time she sends a screenshot, it's like 8.2 million reach over the month. And then Ian's the engagement king.
Yeah.
If you see a video with like, what's the ratio they usually get?
It's like 1.2 likes versus one comment, almost.
Video 50, like 70 comments. Up Ian's alley.
I started posting on Instagram around, I would say, May. Before that, I wouldn't post anything specific to what I wanted to do. It was just like for fun on Instagram, aesthetic pictures. But in May, I started posting. I posted, I think, a prom video. And from there on, I would say my journey took off. And I would post just random content about my life, nothing really specific to my niche because I was more interested in fashion and beauty, but I wouldn't really post anything related to that. But with the mentorship, it kind of allowed me to have a clear direction of what content I should post in order to further develop that niche. And it also allowed me to see that Instagram for me is more of like a head start for what I want to do in the future, which is have my own clothing brand.
Well, I started from zero. I never posted a single thing in my entire life, just TikTok a little bit. And at first, I started the mentorship for my clothing brand, its own account. But then Vera motivated me to start my own personal account. So we started from zero, like creating the content, what niche shall be at and everything. And at first, it was kind of scary. I'm not going to lie. And now I'm here, super happy.
I'll do that as a before and after. First, it's super scary, and I'm here, and I'm super happy. Perfect. Okay, so with social media, I know a lot of us have faced a lot of challenges. I think, Ian, for you, if you were to tell yourself in the beginning of the journey, like, oh, you'd be making talking videos on TikTok, I don't know if you'd believe that.
Nope.
And for you, Judy, too, like being not in a million years. So, what do you feel like is the biggest challenge you have faced so far in your content creation journey?
For me, I would just say getting in front of the camera and being comfortable about talking. First few videos are definitely tough, but once once you get the video where people start engaging, liking it, and you start having conversations back and forth, it actually kind of motivates you to continue posting. And now I think I post almost 2 to 3 talking videos a day.
You're nervous? You're sweating.
It's hot in here.
Sorry. Sorry. For me, the biggest challenge, I think, was experimenting with the variety of content because I was so used to short videos that I knew would do well on Instagram. That's my chosen platform. It's my baby. I love it. But then I started doing talking videos, which was really uncomfortable at first. I had mental breakdowns, multiple of them. I was like, this is so weird and so awkward to do expert content. But I think the more time went by and the more I did it, I became more comfortable with it. And now they do better than other videos. So says a lot.
Alexandra posted a video. When did you post that? Like a week ago?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the title for that one? Your hooks are crazy. What
If
was
your
it?
boyfriend doesn't get you flowers, he's not the one.
Yes, I think it's over 100,000 views now,
Yeah.
huh? It's the one you can make you matcha. It's so good. Guys, check it out. And Ian, didn't you say one of your friends was like, "Oh, Alexandra's content's so cool."
Yeah, one of my friends said he forwarded a couple of her videos to his friends.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
No, that's sick. What about y'all?
Personally, for me, I never had a kind of a block with posting on social media, like talking in front of a camera or just posting varieties of videos. But the biggest challenge for me is staying consistent. And I think we had this challenge at one point in the mentorship where it was points, and the more you posted, the more points you would get, and the winner would get a prize. And I think that challenge really helped me stay consistent with my content because I wanted to win. So yeah, I think consistency was my biggest challenge, honestly.
And you did win. That challenge changed your life.
Yes, because I would post like 2 reels a day, 7 TikToks a day, on YouTube Shorts, on Pinterest, on like 20 stories a day. It was crazy.
I remember actually, I think when we were doing the totals for the week, you guys remember? We did the mastermind. We're doing totals. Ty, I think over the course of 1 week, she posted 52 pieces of content. 52. And that's when you made that video that blew up, right? The POV, or was that after?
No, that was after.
Okay. Because one video Ty made, it got how many views?
It's at 1.4 million right now.
1.4 million. And how many followers?
It's over 10,000 people followed me from it.
For one video. Ooh.
Yes.
I talked about it in the training that I did, I think, a couple weeks ago. I used you as my showcase example, which is so cool. But yeah, okay, we'll get to how to make it happen. Doo-doo.
Well, for me, my biggest challenge, it's definitely being in front of the camera. I started from zero, so being in front of the camera is hard. And talking to, personally, I don't really post many talking videos, but I posted a vlog on YouTube, and that was hard. Like, just talking, being natural in front of the camera is definitely my biggest challenge. But slowly, I'm getting more natural in front of the camera, and it's getting everything way better.
That's a very good point. I think for a lot of creators, especially those who start out, the biggest challenge is just being natural. Because then you always have this kind of stigma of people like, oh, well, I come off fake on camera. Or like, I want to be my more authentic self. So what advice would you guys say you have? I know, Ty, for example, you didn't face this challenge, but pretend like if you were like more shy. Because I know you're talking about your confidence journey, I think, at some point too. So what advice could you give that can help a person open up more?
Honestly, just keep doing it. Because the more you do it, the more natural you'll feel. And at first it can be really awkward, but the more you do it, the more natural you'll feel, and you'll find your niche and your style and things that work for you specifically.
I would say just get over it. Realize that most of your followers don't even watch your content. So if you're afraid of every single one of your followers judging you for a video, I think isn't the average ratio like 10% of your followers see a post or something. So just get over it.
Just do it.
I agree. I think the more you post, the more comfortable you get. But also in front of the camera, just pretend that you're speaking to a friend. Because that way, it's not like, oh, I'm being recorded, I have to act a certain way. Just like your audience are your friends, basically, in a way. So just pretend that you're speaking to them. And that, I feel like, makes it a little bit more comfortable and a little bit easier when you're talking in front of a camera or just being in front of a camera.
Like FaceTime.
Yeah.
Man, just film, and you will get good over time. That's what happened to me. At first, I was like a robot, but now like it's getting better. So just film the freaking video.
Men versus women. So here's how you do it. Men, just do it. You gotta just do it.
Just get over it. It's not that hard.
Just post.
You were saying you were a content creator for 8 years.
Okay, so my camera battery died, unfortunately, but we'll resume. So with content creation, with being more comfortable in front of the camera, I'll rewatch my videos that I made like 5 years ago, and I talk so weird in it, and I don't know why, because that's not me. So also another important thing to note here is if you notice that you talk a little bit differently on camera, that's fine. I don't think anyone's like fully exactly themselves in real life. It's just like you have like a sort of a different persona. That's fine. But honestly, for me also, I would say in my humble professional opinion that the best way, the fastest way to get over that mental block is just to do it as much as you can. So I'm with the guys on this one.
That's what I said.
Just kidding.
That's what I said.
But also, obviously, mindset is a big thing. Like knowing who you're talking to, pretending you're talking to a friend, and what you said as well.
I said pretend you're on FaceTime or recording a Snapchat.
Exactly. It's perfect. Because honestly, we record a lot. It's just a matter of putting it out there. Okay. Now, regarding advice, what would you say? What advice would you give to a person who really wants to start and maybe they're comfortable in front of the camera, but they're just really afraid to post? I work with a bunch of clients who have this issue of like, oh, well, what will people at work think of me? What will people at school think of me? So what advice would you give for people who have that block in just posting content?
Personally, I think no one really cares much. So, and they probably won't have like much negative thoughts on your content, like, oh, he does this, he does that. But if you post something really cool, everyone would be like, whoa, that's nice. So really, you just have a good option here. You just, I don't know how to say it. You show others that you can make good content and everyone will be like, whoa, super cool. So post it. It'll be nice.
Do it. Just do it.
I think one piece of advice would be that you don't post it for other people. You post it for yourself. You're posting something that you like, not that they like. Of course, it's always audience centered, but this is your content and your video. So you be proud of it. And if you're proud of it, then it shouldn't matter what other people think. And if they scroll past it, they'll look at it once. They're like, oh, why did she post that? But in 5 minutes, they're going to forget about it. They're not going to be like, why did Taya post this fashion video? It's like, they don't care. At the end of the day, they don't care. You post it for yourself. You post what you like, and that should be more than enough.
That's a perfect way to put it. Popcorning it.
I think people who judge others need to get on with their life. And so if you think that, oh no, what will my cousin think? Well, they're portraying their insecurities onto you. So again, none of your business, just post whatever you want and be happy with it because it doesn't matter what they think. If they're too scared to do it, why should you be? And if you have a goal, if you're like, I want to get to this point, I want to do this with social media, just do it now because in 5 years, it will be an even more competitive field. So start now. Don't wait.
Relationship code came out.
Yeah, I agree. I think people who are not posting because they're too worried about what other people think, I think they have built this idea of what other people view your content as, and 99% of the time it's just not correct. So this idea that you have that other people think about your content doesn't exist. So don't even think about other people when you're posting content, I think.
True, but also for those of you who want to start and say you have just family, friends following you, friends, people you go to school with, people you work with. For me, that's also how I started. And I think all of you as well, because you didn't create like a separate account. So if you already have that, what the algorithm favors is engagement. They're going to engage with your videos. Even if they're sending it to like the group chat being like, oh, look at this video. It's still engagement and it still gives you a boost. But at the end of the day, nobody really cares that much. People just, like you said, project their own insecurities onto others of like, posting is so embarrassing. It's really not. And if you think it's embarrassing, then you're the one who's embarrassed.
But again, if it's your true friends and family who love and support you, why wouldn't they be happy for what you're doing and what you're posting? Unless you're shaking your naked butt on camera, then I guess you have a different goal. But, you know, if you're just posting...
It's the goal to go fast.
If you want really fast growth, then do it. Tag me, I want to see. But if you just want to grow on social media and you do, say, lifestyle or some kind of expert content on like real estate, why wouldn't they support you? Period.
That's a really good point. I think to end this question, a very good quote that I always think about is hurt people, love people, love people. If a person's truly happy, like even before I was creating content, I'm sure before you, Ian, were as well. Like if you saw somebody filming in public, you wouldn't be like, ew, look at that creator, because you're just at peace with yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now that's part 1 with content creation journey. We're diving into part 2, which is hot takes. So I have questions written down. Obviously, over the past, I think, not 3 months yet, but like 2.5 months that we've been together. And this total mentorship is 3 months. It's a 12-week one, which is really exciting. But over the past, let's just say 3 months that we've been together, you have truly grown into your content creator potential and become content creators. And on social media, there's a lot of discourse of people who are like, being content creator is such an easy job. Like, you don't really do much. Like, anybody could do it. If you have a phone, you could just do it. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, definitely. Like if you have a phone, you are an unique person. So if you just show your life, even though you think it's pretty basic, because I know a lot of people think that, if you film in your own way, it will be interesting for a group of people. So just post, and it is pretty easy because you're not necessarily working, you're just showing your life and making videos. And even though you have like a mental block, like I don't want to do this, it's not fun, at the end of the day, it will be fun. Like I promise you guys, it is really fun. I had the same thing. I was like, no, I'm not posting anything at all. But then I started posting, and at first, not showing any personality in my videos. Now I do, and it is really, really fun. It's a nice process.
I would a little bit respectfully disagree with you about it being easy. I think anyone can start it, but to actually be successful, you have to be unique in a way, because so many people post on social media at this point. It's like, if you're posting the same content as everyone else, you're not going to succeed. You have to bring something valuable to the table, and you have to bring something unique about you, which is really good when you show your personality, because that way you kind of stand out from everyone else. If you're just like, oh, this is my beauty routine, and you don't really show much about you, no one's like, your followers and your audience will not resonate, like they won't remember you. So you have to be really unique in order to succeed, which can be a challenge, which is a challenge for me also. It's like showing my personality more. And also, I would say staying consistent with it after you start posting. That is also, I would say, pretty difficult as well, because sometimes you just want to just live, you don't want to film. But if you want to turn this into a job, turn this into something that you can get paid for example, you really have to stay on top of it, which can be a difficult thing because you have like your own life. Well, that sounds kind of bad. Because you also have a life outside of social media. So you just have to find a balance between the two.
That's a very interesting take. What about you guys?
I agree with Tam more than I agree with Eduardo. Sorry, no shade. I do think that this is an easy job to start with, but if you don't have structure and a goal in mind of where you want to be and where you want to go with your content, then it can get very messy and you can burn out probably, because then you're like, what do I film? I don't have ideas, and you'll just spin out and probably not post. And that's where the consistency will come into play. So I think when you have something tangible you're working toward, like whether you want to get a brand deal by the end of next month or whatever it is, then you know why you're doing this and what you're doing exactly. But I think anyone can do this job if you have a phone. Again, you don't even need a fancy phone, just anything to start with, and then see what works for your audience. But the biggest thing is probably having some kind of structure, like I said, and a goal in mind. Otherwise, you're just doing it. It's too messy, it feels like.
I do agree with both sides of it. I think kind of like a lot of jobs, I mean, technically anyone can do them. You just might not be very good at it, right?
Hot take.
Yeah, I mean, like real estate, everyone can get a real estate license, but the stat is 87% of agents fail. So anyone can do social media. It just may not work out. It's about finding your niche, finding your avatar. And if you can find that and structure successful posts around it, then it can work out.
For sure. Thank you guys for sharing your takes. I definitely agree to some extent with all of them, but also with social media, when people think of it as like a job, it's not, it's more than just creating videos and posting that, because anybody can do that. But actually monetizing it as a full-time craft is a whole other realm, which I know a lot of you started to do now. Like, it's becoming a very integral part of your job nowadays, which is really cool. But with that, like, I think Sasha, Alexandra, you mentioned that. Ty, you too. to some extent, but having like a structure and a discipline around it as well, that's honestly very crucial. Because what I see happens, and I'm on social media a lot, I love like social media tea, drama, gossip. I follow all the like, I don't know, I just very I keep up with the current news. What happens to a lot of influencers, they start off like grinding, like posting every single day, like they're really on it, right? But then they hit like a milestone of having a couple million followers, then they buy a home or whatever, like do their thing, and then they just stop really putting in effort as much. Like all they do is just film a couple brand deals and then just whine about how they don't really have ideas. Like, sorry guys, I can't post again this month because like I'm just so burnt out, which obviously that's like a horrible place to be in, sending my love. But that's what I think creates this impression that influencers are out of touch. Cause it's like, or like, what's the girl's name? Michaela, do you guys know her? Kim Kardashian.
Oh, the makeup.
Nas. she was like, it's 5:18 p.m. I'm clocking out. Try being an influencer for a day. Try it. That's like any normal job, except you do what you actually love. So do you guys think that influencers are out of touch?
I think kind of with any job, when you get to a point, if you're super successful, you naturally, I mean, not necessarily any job, but when you get to a point where you're super successful, you kind of naturally become out of touch with the majority of the population. Like there's a few, I guess I could call them influencers, gurus, maybe fake gurus. I don't want to I don't want to bash their name, but
I'll tag them.
they claim to be extremely knowledgeable in certain subjects, and I'm going to switch to real estate and business for this topic, but there is a couple people who post videos saying all you have to do is buy 30 rental properties and you can retire. Obviously. But do you know how much money it takes to buy 30 rental properties? People say stuff like, ask your parents to buy you a house and then just retire in that house. Okay, well, the average house is $1.2 million where we are. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the topic of influencers being out of touch, I think it depends at what stage of their life they're at. If they have 10 million followers and make $150,000 a month from brand deals and advertising, et cetera, obviously you're going to be out of touch with the general population, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, I think you and I talked about it not too long ago. There's a few influencers that I watch, and I've been watching them for a long time. Again, Vera might tag them. She might not. So if you don't know who I'm talking about,
Handles on the screen.
Just a mystery in here. But they were posting very consistently, and now all they post on Instagram is pretty much advertisement, which is honestly just pathetic to watch. Because every time I go on Instagram and I see a story from that particular influencer, it's just an ad. And I'm like, what are you doing? No context, nothing, just an ad. And Ian and I talked about, and if you think about if you're a YouTuber and you want to film a video, for you to film like 2 videos to post a week when you don't even edit them yourself at that point is going to take 8 hours? 4 hours, okay? Like 8 hours for 3 videos maybe to go to Target and do something goofy, whatever does well for your content. So I think when people start saying like, oh, it just takes so much time, obviously there's behind the scenes, but on the level where they are at, they have managers, they have a team, they have editors. So they're not really doing a lot of it themselves. They just have to sort through some emails, like they said in their videos. So I think at that point, they do become out of touch and they don't appreciate what they have as much as they probably should. And you can feel that and see that through their content, because whatever they upload is just, I don't know if I can say a bad word on here, half a $sign ED.
Yeah, for sure. I would say with that, this is a hot take I have personally, but it's my humble personal opinion. And this is what I think you guys are doing, so you guys are good. But with being an influencer, just a sole influencer and living off of brand partnerships, there's nothing wrong with that. Like for me, most of my time as a content creator, that was the sole, like the biggest part of my income, which I love. Like it's amazing collaborating, working with brands that you already love and use. But with that, I think once you are getting exposure, it's very important to channel that towards something else as well. Like start a brand, start a business, start a merch line, just do something. Because I think with a lot of those influencers, like you guys mentioned, what happens is they get to a level of success, and because they're not working a normal job, they're not interacting with people as much. Like they're just sitting in their Beverly Hills mansion, whatever, filming brand deals, like opening packages, doing PR. That's it. They don't really have anything else going for them. And it creates like a very interesting sort of echo chamber where it's just them and their ideas. And then obviously you're not going to have inspiration with that because you're not having anything new flow into your world, just like same old, same old. So that's why I would recommend starting just something, coaching, like no matter what it is that you can do, just do it. Help other people get to the same level, just something. Otherwise, it's just so, I feel like it also becomes boring because imagine you're just doing brand, like that's all you do, you know?
I also want to add that I think when you get to that certain level where you just, how Vera mentioned, that you just post brand deal after brand deal, you're sitting in your mansion, I think it's kind of important to understand and like remember why you started posting, to kind of bring you back down to earth in a sense, because it's like, what was the point of starting in the beginning? And then I think that can kind of bring you down to earth and humble you a little bit.
For sure, because the biggest thing here, and I think this is one of the things that you guys realized on social media, is that no matter what kind of content you post, none of it is like about you. It is for you also because you love what you do and it helps your career, but it's not about you. It's all about who you're creating it for, which I think why a lot of these influencers who kind of become out of touch, I think they just like you said, they just lose sight of that and they don't really know their whole purpose behind doing it. But I think with influencing, the most important thing to have a sustainable career is to not let it get selfish, I think. Like a good example, you guys know Emma Chamberlain, right? She was on Forbes creator list, which is how, I don't know, I just really follow her. I watch a lot of her interviews because I think she's a very good influencer model, kind of. In a sense, she doesn't influence as much. Like she doesn't make that many YouTube videos anymore, but she does what she loves, which is her podcast. And she also has Chamberlain Coffee, which is a brand. So there's like a higher meaning behind it, Not only does she inspire people to get to the same height or level as she has, but she also has something else that's very accessible to the majority of the public, like coffee, like a very common thing.
And her attitude is also very pleasant. I respect her a lot. I think she's achieved a lot in the amount of time that she's been doing social media for, and I don't think she expected to get to the level where she's at, because I mean she always says like, I had no idea I was going to be here, but I do respect her a lot. I think she's a queen. She's slaying.
Yeah, I'd also like to add that becoming successful at social media is like any job where you work for yourself, right? And I can attest to the fact that Vera probably works more hours than someone who works a 9-to-5 job Monday to Friday. It requires a ton of, I don't necessarily want to say sacrifice, but a lot of dedication, and you need to be extremely motivated to be super successful at it. And if you have those qualities, you can absolutely do it.
I think discipline more than motivated, because motivation can fade, but if you stay disciplined, that's when you're gonna slay. We talked about it in our mentorship.
For sure. I think that's a good point. But also something that I think about is I've never worked a 9-to-5 job. I know some of us here have, so you guys have probably more experience with it than I do. But I was thinking, I should look at the word else, just for it to feel more inclusive. But I was thinking about it once. Like I was, I think I was in New York at that time, and I was on the subway, and I was thinking how technically, if you work a 9-to-5, like especially if you work remote, like you don't have to commute, you have a lot of time in your day, right? Because you have like after 5, when do you go to sleep? Like 10, you have 5 more hours. So say like 2 for social media. But truthfully, I think why some of the influencers do become out of touch is that they forget that being an influencer, that's not a mentally draining job. It can be with like the hate comments you get, and like having to deal with that and just having ideas and stuff. But you literally do what you love. Like you turned your hobby into your full-time career. So for me, I can work like 16 hours in a day and I won't feel mentally drained. Maybe will feel tired physically, but because it is what I love, I don't have that sort of like, okay, I have my boss to worry about. I have my stupid coworkers that I have to worry about as well. So I think that's like a very cool bonus in doing this, is that it's just you.
I think work structure comes into play though. So when you know what you're doing and you know what you're doing it for, because when you're just filming videos, like say you just started, all you do is film videos, you don't really have like a business idea or merch line or anything yet, then it's way easier than when you have something to work on, like creator camp, mentorship, you know, because at that point it's a completely different dimension to what you're doing. It's not influencing anymore. It's like you show it on social media, but everything is so tailored because it's a business now. So I think that's where it can take a lot more time than just a regular 9-to-5, a lot more work and effort and discipline, because it's not just filming videos anymore. That's what you see, but that's not what's behind the scenes. And we see behind the scenes.
Yeah. For sure. Thank you for that point. Okay, so now we're moving on to the third section, which is hate. A lot of creators, when they start or when they're already going, they're really worried about getting like hate comments or getting that sort of negative feedback. And I know that a lot of us get those. So my first question is, as a creator, have you faced hate so far? And if so, how have you dealt with it? I'm going to pass this to section first because it is the most relevant. Let's start with Ian.
Yes, I get a ton of hate on a lot of videos I post. I posted a video that got like, it was like 800 likes and like 650 comments, and they may as well all have been dislikes. It was about two different areas comparing one another, and I basically got told that if I liked a particular area, I was extremely racist, which is obviously not the case. It was comparing Orange County to LA, and tons of people commented saying, "I if I support Orange County, I'm supporting Trump. I'm supporting racism. I don't feel safe in Orange County as this particular race." And yeah, it is a lot to take in because it was kind of the first video I posted where I felt like I was being attacked for just stating my opinion on two different areas. And as far as how to deal with it, I just ignored most of them. I didn't block any of the accounts unless I felt like I was a little concerned. Then I think I blocked two different accounts. And for the most part, I kind of just let them be. And then a few of the hate comments, I just asked them other like follow-up questions, like, can you please expand? And then they just never responded. So I think I would say for the most part, you're more likely to get hate comments versus people supporting you. I don't know if you guys agree, but I think it's a lot easier for someone who truly is unhappy about something to post their unhappiness about a video that maybe triggers them a little bit, or maybe if they slightly disagree with the video. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not.
Well, again, I think it's just a projection. Again, don't take it personally, and it's hard not to because I've received thousands of hate comments.
With your cheating video, do you want to talk
Yeah,
about
I posted a video where Ian and I were reacting and deciding whether something is cheating or not cheating. And the scenarios were very vague. There was no context. So it was like sleeping with someone in the bed. And we said not cheating because, I mean, again, it might have been a sister, might have been some random guy, but again, like, you don't have context, so nothing happens, so it's not cheating. Or hey, oh my gosh, this got people really mad. Having dating apps on the phone, I still have Hinge. We met on Hinge. I have it. Our first conversation's on there. I'm not logged in, but I don't want to delete it because then everything will be deleted, and I just need to take screenshots and then I can get rid of it. But it doesn't bother anyone. We've been together for over 2 years, and I mean, it hasn't been a problem for anyone. And people got so mad. They're like, she's cheating. She is. I had to block a lot of negative words instead of blocking people. So I didn't see a lot of, I think out of those, there's like a few thousand comments of just pure hate. There are probably more comments that Instagram just doesn't show me because I blocked a lot of words. So you can do that. That can help you. Or just read comments in the first like 3 hours when your family and friends comment, and then don't read them anymore. But again, it's just people's projections. It's their own insecurities. They got triggered because maybe their boyfriend slept in a bed with his stepsister, and you know what happened. You never know. So maybe they get triggered by that, or you know, they see you have a happy relationship that triggers them. So it's their own projection onto you. It has nothing to do with you at all. And when you scroll through social media, when you see something nice, would you actually go out of your way and comment? Probably not. But when you see something that makes you angry, you'd probably comment. So there were a lot more people. That video is at 8.3 million views. And out of those 8.3 million people who saw it, only a few thousand commented something negative, and millions of people didn't say anything because they either agreed or just didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's always about the ratio, honestly, because it can be like, oh, thousands of people are commenting. But if you look at the majority of people who view it, not every viewer comments. But also, one thing I'll say as a social media coach is one of the key concepts for virality, for your video to go viral, is to leave that room for hate. Like, there has to be an opportunity for that differing opinion. Because what happens is, like, for example, for your cheating video, or for your OC versus LA video, or for the videos that you guys posted, you post that video, you just let it out, right? People start disagreeing in the comments. As they're commenting, what's happening? They're watching the video. Oh,
watch time went crazy on that video. Crazy.
And that's how you know it's going to be a good video. So let people express their opinions. Don't take it personally. Read comments. I also do this too. Like I read it for the first day, maybe after that. Like if I realize it starts going off, I just don't anymore. Because why? You need to do this mentally to yourself. But what do you guys think?
Personally, I've gotten hate. Not a lot of hate, but on one of the videos I posted that was previously mentioned, the one that's at 1.4 million views,
And it's pinned and you should watch it.
at Time Lost West. People are hating on, for example, the clothes I'm wearing. And what that actually makes me laugh a lot. Because honestly, like, I even had hate on my TikTok video where I was talking about how it's kind of gross to not wash your hair for a week straight. And people are like, you don't know what it's like to have curly hair. I'm like, dude, I'm just expressing my opinion. If it's nasty, if you have like oil, like, man, come on. Like, it's my opinion. If it triggers you, not my problem. But honestly, like, even with, for example, that Instagram video, people are like, well, is she gonna give us the fashion advice or are we waiting to give her the fashion advice? I'm like, okay, like, I'm just go on your page and I see what you're wearing. And at that point, I just realize it's just better to like the video and just say, I just like the comment and say, have a good day. And then there was one comment that was like, well, you're just wearing those jeans and bodysuit. And I'm like, well, if you have any ideas of what outfits I should post on my page, just let me know. DM them. My DMs are open and you have a chance to feature them on my page. Thank you. Honestly, I just don't let it affect me because it's like, I don't really care. They give me a good little laugh. But if it starts bothering you, just don't look at it. It's like they won't bring you anything positive in your life at all. And then by that point, people comment it, but then they forget about your video. So it's like, they don't care. So then you don't care either, you know?
Well, for me, I do not get a lot of hate. I get some in outfit videos because it's something that is really easy to hate on, just people trash on your outfit. But honestly, I do not let it affect me. And I just, like someone just commented, your pants are so, you know?
They said that?
Yes. I just comment back, like reply being really nice. And the person replies to me like converted them, you know? Like they're super nice again and like they follow me, you know? So it's like just be nice to them because it doesn't really affect me at all. So they are just like insecurities, as Alexandra said.
Wait, let me say something. I agree. Just be nice back. Because in one of my videos, also, subtle plug, also the hair video, someone said, well, you probably smell. People can smell you coming. And honestly, that comment made me laugh so much. I was like, this made me laugh. They're like, yeah, I'm just joking. I'm guilty of that stinking myself. So it's like, they don't actually like mean to harm you. They're just projecting their own thing. But if you're nice back, just spread positivity at the end of the day.
I really like that. Because at the end of the day, also, how I started, because when I was first starting out and I started getting hate comments, it would really get to me. Because I'm not a very, I don't know, I'm not a mean person, I don't think. Like, I don't ever do that stuff. So getting that back was kind of a lot mentally. I think you remember. I would cry all the
I
time.
think most people go through that.
Yeah, but if you start to realize that it's not actually a hate comment on you, because those people, they do not know you. They do not actually know who you are in real life. They just saw a video associated with their own thing, projected whatever they wanted onto it, and then took that and ran with it. And it's not a hate comment. It's most often than not just a differing opinion. Even, well, if people start personally attacking you, it's different. But then again, they're not personally attacking you. It's just some sort of idea of the person that you have.
Yeah, because they don't know you. They just see the video that you posted, but you probably tailored it so well, they don't even know who the real person is. So it doesn't matter.
Exactly. But with the K comments, have you guys ever gotten a comment that really got to you? Like, actually, maybe made you sad for a second. Maybe for a second you're like, started doubting yourself. And if so, how did you deal with that?
Well, I can't think of just one. There's so many of them. I can't think of one, but that video, the cheating video, people started attacking my relationship and just trying to get to my personality and like Ian's personality. That just really pissed me off. I was like, y'all don't have any idea what you're talking about. You're not part of this relationship. So I had to block a bunch of words. Some people, I deleted a lot of comments because they were just so mean. I was like, I just don't want those comments under this particular video because it's just an opinion video. But then after, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, I was like, I just really don't care. Like, I woke up and I didn't care about checking comments. Just didn't care. And now that video is still going. People are still commenting, she's cheating. As I'm sitting next to Ian, and we know that no one's cheating in this relationship. We're both really happy. We're thinking about our like future and our plans. And those people are in the comments. It's a really funny perspective when you think about it. When you're like, if someone's attacking, I don't know, say your relationship, because it's kind of easy to picture. You know, you're sitting next to that person, you're having dinner with them, you know exactly what's happening in your relationship, and someone's over there like, she's sleeping with 3 other guys at the same time. Bet. I'm gonna bet money on it. Yeah, they're gonna break up in 3 years for sure. They're never getting married. It's like, you have no idea what's going on. So put that in perspective and just try not to care.
There aren't too many comments where I feel like sad, I would say, but a few people comment, "Oh, being a real estate agent is so easy. All you have to do is open the door and make $20,000. Then do it."
I wish.
And I used to engage with those comments. When I say used to, I mean like 2 weeks ago. And now I kind of just let them sit there. And I notice after like a few days, other people will start defending me in the comments, and they just have like a back and forth together. And it's kind of funny just to read the conversations that some people have in my comment section. And I start to realize that the person who made the initial comment is just so out of touch and probably just watches Selling Sunset and think all an agent has to do is open the door and make $250,000. They have no idea what's involved in the job. So, like, why would I waste my time trying to prove a point to someone who doesn't know anything about the career? It's like trying to convince someone who's Christian that God doesn't exist. It's just not going to happen. Or trying to convince an atheist that God does exist. It's just not going to happen. So I just let them voice whatever they think.
Thank you for sharing that. What's the tea about Selling Sunset? About how social media can kind of be misleading in that sense? Because everyone thinks that those people are selling.
I mean, have you seen what they wear to their showings?
Yes, it's like a Fashion Nova ad.
If I were like, oh, I want to buy a house, Ian and I go to a showing. For some reason, Ian doesn't want to do that sale, whatever. And we go to a showing and an agent's wearing that, we're turning around and leaving. It's just embarrassing. Like, plain embarrassing. I'm sorry, you're showing up to a showing in a bra, holding a bag that's just a basketball, so it's not even a bag. Excuse me, wait. And when we checked, because Ian has access, since they're all in California, he can check by their license what they've sold. They don't really sell anything. And last sales for some of them were like 2 years ago, and it was just like 2 sales. So I mean, it's just for the show, and you can tell a lot of it is scripted.
Yeah, the brothers actually sell houses, but it's because their names go on every single contract, so they don't really have a choice. But there are agents on the Oppenheim group who obviously sell homes. They're just not on the show. The agents on the show are just actors with real estate licenses.
I think there was a rumor or something that someone said some of the agents had to get their license for the show. So they're not actually agents. It was just for the drama. But for the team itself, like how they operate is probably different than what you see on a TV. It's just a show.
It's just social media. It's entertainment. It's the same thing. Have you've watched Love is Blind, or you've heard of that show? You have?
Yeah. He has no idea.
Brazilian edition. Does that ring a bell? But with Love is Blind, it's the same thing. I think in the first, people used to go in it to like find love and whatever. But nowadays, you can very clearly tell that people just go in it for the hype. Because as soon as they're done with the show, they become an influencer. And then they milk it for like 2 years. My experience on Love is Blind is actually horrific. And then they just keep talking about it. So same thing with Selling Sunset.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we move on to the last portion of our amazing podcast video. Also, let me check if it's recording. I think it is. Okay. I was so scared the whole time that it wasn't. Like, my heart was beating so fast out of my chest. Okay, we're good. Perfect. So now, with this one is the advice portion, okay? In the past, let's just say 3 months, you've learned a lot on social media. Like, it's been a very fulfilling and amazing journey to watch you change. Mindset, first and foremost. Because for the first 6 weeks, as a mentor, I can tell you this. For the first 6 weeks, it's usually a lot of mindset work and, like, technical work about how stuff work, how stuff don't work.
You forgot S.
Doesn't work. All of that. And then once you have that mindset change and you're in a creator headspace, everything just becomes a lot more easier and a lot more smooth. It's like free flowing, smooth sailing, right? So let's do an advice session. First and foremost, what advice, top 1 tip would you give to like a very beginner creator who really wants to start but doesn't know where to start?
Are they at the stage where they kind of know the content they want to cater to? Just no clue. I would say find some creators that you enjoy watching and maybe try recreating the content, but obviously make it your own. Don't just re-upload their video. Yeah, I would say just find creators that you enjoy watching. I personally, before posting anything, would follow other real estate agents and maybe like news TikTok pages that I enjoyed listening to and kind of got ideas from them.
So you have zero clue what you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Then why are you doing it? If I think, okay, it can be difficult to get ideas and start because you need courage. But if you really wanted to do it, you would have done at least something, like one little step. You would have uploaded some kind of video, even if it's just like a slideshow or something, you would have just done it. So I think just sitting on a couch being like, yeah, I really, really want to film videos and be an influencer. Well, then why haven't you filmed one yet?
Mm-hmm.
And biggest advice, join the mentorship, because I know for a fact I would not have been nearly as consistent or been where I am now without having that structure and like challenges to get me out of my comfort zone. I know it for a fact. It's not a plug, but it is a plug.
Link in the description, guys. Sign up for a call. Book yours. I would say with the topic, a big thing, because I have a lot of people DMing me every single day, just like, oh, I really want to start, but I don't really know what like to share. The big thing with that is just sharing what you already share with your friends. Like, for example, I know for a fact, Haya, before she even started being a content creator, like, you love beauty and fashion. I would go to you for fashion advice always, even before you started social media.
Mhm.
So I usually, for my clients, I did a one-on-one session recently, actually, a strategy session. And she, the girl I was working with, she didn't really know where to start. She's in my mentorship, or actually she's in my creator camp 1.1 for level 2, so which means they get a strategy session with me. But she didn't really know what to post, but she had like a specific goal of monetizing her social media. So we did like a Venn diagram, and I recommend doing this. I think we also did that at some point. We just did a different variation of it. But basically, it's things that make you unique as a person, because you're person first, creator second. Secondly, what kind of content you love and that you enjoy watching yourself. And thirdly is the kind of content that comes easily to you, like things that you already want to share. It comes out of you. So out of y'all. Out of you anyway.
I agree with what Vera said. And also, I would say step one, if you want to start, like if you're starting from zero, but you want to start smart, join mentorship, but also think about what you already enjoy in life. Like for me, it was fashion. I really enjoyed that. But also I really like talking. Like on my Snapchat private stories, you would just catch me yapping, like maybe 10-minute videos all the time. And so talking for me came easily. So that's why I always yap it up on TikTok. And then just find like 3 pillars. That's what they're called. Mm-hmm. That really interest you and that you can actually like give value to for your audience. For me, that was fashion, beauty, and lifestyle, but not as much lifestyle, but more focusing on fashion and beauty. And from there, you just also, what Ian said, you just look at creators and other accounts that kind of are also in that niche. And from there, you can kind of take inspiration just for the beginning, like when you're really looking for ideas that can give you some kind of like a head start. But then from there, you just have to create a structure and see what your goal is. It doesn't have to be a big major goal, of course. What helps me also is having little goals in like as steps to achieve that big goal. And that can also motivate you and also create a little bit of a discipline. So just have just kind of what you want to share and also what kind of value you're going to bring to your audience as well. Because if there's no value that you're going to bring, well, there's no point. Do you know what I mean? Like no one's going to remember you if they're not like getting something out of you.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like posting what you like first because you like it is something you're somewhat an expert in. And honestly, joining mentorship, like I started from zero, from scratch. I had no idea what content I was going to post. I had no idea on anything at all. But I worked since the beginning with Vera, and we just started tailoring whatever I was going to post, what would be my niche, everything. And now I'm here. Like I am the proof, starting from scratch. And yeah, watching creators, as Ian said, that's one thing that we did. That was one of our first things. We just like listed a lot of creators we like and started like branching like specific stuff from every creator, and you just start connecting everything that you like, specific stuff, and then you just reach the final goal that is your content, that it's a unique content that you like.
Oh, one more thing. Additionally, I always I want to emphasize that you should just be yourself also when you post. Because it's like, of course, when you look at social media, you're like, oh, she's successful because she acts this way. No, don't do that. Don't act like someone else. Just be yourself, and like people who are interested in how you act and your personality and what you bring to the table, they'll follow you. Do you know what I mean? Like, always be yourself. Don't fake yourself for social media. Of course, you're not always the same person in real life. Like, I'm a little bit of a more, what's the word?
Yepper.
No, like a little bit more of a cleaned up image on social media, but it's still me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I still say almost all of the things I would say in real life on social media.
I think it can be really hard to start and to figure it out by yourself. So if you have the opportunity to have someone to guide you, again, mentorship plug, but not really a plug, but also it is a plug. It really, really helps because you can achieve way faster results in a short amount of time, and you can just have a clear structure to go off of. Because for me, if I had to figure everything out myself and just look at people that, whose content I like. First of all, my For You page on TikTok is just memes because that's the content I like watching. So it would be really hard for me to find something in my niche because I use social media for myself for entertainment. So I'm not really, I don't really look for ideas. Sometimes I might get some, but most of the ideas come from my own head or like my own life or people around me, but not really from social media. It's just memes. So if you have someone who can kind of guide you in this process or someone you can look up to, but at the same time talk to, actually, like if you have a friend and your friend's doing really well on social media, have a conversation with them and see what kind of practical things you can do to boost yours. But other than that, mentorship is definitely, at least the camp. You don't even have to do the one-on-one mentorship, but at least join the camp because I'm pretty sure it would definitely help because it helped us. We're all in different niches. We all came with different backgrounds, different skills, different everything. And look at all of us slaying. Oops. You have anything to say?
I don't have anything additional to add.
Okay.
Okay. To end our amazing podcast, thank you guys for sharing and for plugging the mentorship. Really excited for that, for the camp as well. Something I want to end with, and I think it's going to be really fun to just see where you're at in the year, because obviously our mentorship is coming to its swift end. You guys have changed so much, which is absolutely amazing. But we'll rewatch this like a year from now. Maybe we'll do a little reaction video. But just picture it, like close your eyes right now. Take a second, take a deep breath. Just picture your most successful self 1 year from now, as relates to social media. It can be like a super clear vision. It could be something that's a little more blurry, maybe just an idea of something. But now open your eyes, have that vision in mind, and where do you want to be in a year?
I want to be, for if we say follower wise on Instagram, in a year I want to reach 100,000 followers. Currently I'm at 17.6 thousand, but it's achievable. And also when I was visualizing, I saw a lot of green dollar signs. Not gonna lie.
That's right.
So I do want to start consistently making money from like brand partnerships or whatever. So yeah, just banking and growing.
Honestly, I visualize more on YouTube, and also relating to my clothing brand, just doing big events and working like with bigger inventory, bigger stock, more customers and everything, and being able to show with high quality content on YouTube the actual behind the scenes. Yeah, that's mostly what I visualize, and of course some bank.
Banking and growing is the motto. What about you guys?
Well, when I close my eyes, I see this beautiful picture of helping the masses. So not only helping 3,000 people who watch my video, FYI, if you haven't, please do it or you're missing out. Shameless plug. But not only helping the people who watch my videos by giving some kind of my opinion or some kind of advice in the video, but doing more tailored stuff related to coaching and, again, helping the people, because that's been my passion since I probably was born. All of my career paths always led me to one thing. Not to plug myself, but at the same time, why else are we here? Yeah. And then I also see dollar signs as kind of like a proof that I'm doing something right, but it's not the main goal. Like my main goal is not to bank off of a bunch of people and just be rich. My main goal is to help as many people as I can, bring a lot of value to them, and just make this world a better place and make your relationship the best one you can have.
I would say for me, it's less about the quantity of followers and more about being a trusted source for like real estate news, recommendations in Orange County. I want people to be able to reach out to me with questions about the market, questions about what's a good restaurant, what's a good coffee shop, and kind of just being a place where people feel, I guess, comfortable and trusted, where they can watch my videos and just learn about real estate in general. So yeah, which is a slow process, but it's working so far.
For sure. Thank you guys for sharing. I think the thing to conclude this with, and I'll share my vision of myself as well, just because I think it'll be fun to just see in a year. But the biggest thing with social media is to remember that as an influencer, you still have an impact, even as a creator. Like if you have 5 people watching you, put those 5 people in a room, that's like us on the couch. That's a lot of people. Each person has like a brain, soul, mind, body, heart, whatever. And it's not just a number. It's truly an impact that you bear into the world, but also in the social media space. So your voice matters. Remember that. And as for me, a year from now, are you guys curious?
Yeah, you never spill any tea.
Waiting. I've been waiting.
Okay. For me, where I want to, like, speaking this into existence, manifesting, but where I want to be a year from now is I want to have my podcast rank top 10 in Spotify charts. Even if it's like for a week, I don't care. I want it there. I want to record at the Spotify Live Studios, which they invite people whose podcasts do rank. So podcast growth. I imagine myself having like a very successful, booming business, what I'm building right now, with like a very extended product suite with like a lot of products. So like, for example, a creator were to watch this right now, like, oh, how can I help myself with Vera V Coach? They just go to my website. They have like a bunch of options to choose from, products that talk about virality, that talk about growth, that talk about monetization. Like a person can really choose what to help themselves with. So having that impact, also connecting with creators in real life. Like I really, for 2024, I really want to host like a wellness creator retreat in person. I started planning for that. It's exciting. So fingers crossed for that. And obviously still working with brands that I love, because that's a very big part of it. And also like releasing music and doing this and doing that. And watching you guys grow. That's the most important one. That's what I'm good at.
Getting married, giving birth, you know how the
All in 1 year.
Oh, everything happened this year. Just kidding.
buying a house, building a house, remodeling a house, everything, all of it.
Yes. Okay. So let's close our eyes for a second. Wish each other success. Send lots of love. We'll watch this back in a year from now. Remember, we're going together always. New podcast episodes come out every Wednesday. Stay tuned. Bye.
3, 2, 1. Launch to success with Vera V.